back to my channel. My name is Sandra. Today we are doing something a little bit different on my channel. I want to showcase all of my products in my video, and what I'm going to do is break up my videos and have different type of product that we're going to talk about, because as a makeup person, as a makeup artist, somebody who has collected makeup over the last few years, I have numerous palettes. I've got numerous foundations. So I want to share them with you and maybe not necessarily rate them, but just talk about each of them a little bit and tell you which one I would recommend for different types of skin tones. I'm excited to do this because I don't think I've ever talked about my products in groups like this. So now what I have in front of me is I've got an entire little drawer full of contour and bronzers. And then I have about 4 to 5 palettes here in front of me. Okay, 4 palettes, so actually not that bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure that my collection is a lot more demure than other people's collections. For somebody who does makeup like once or twice a week, I don't have that bad of a collection. But I do have to say that the contours and bronzers are probably one of the products that I have the least of. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does. Okay, so we're going to start with the palettes because they're easier to get at. They're right in front of me. So another note is that some of these palettes are no longer available on the market. So I'm apologize in advance if you see it and you just love it and you want it. So the first one I'm going to show you is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. I don't know if you can get this one. It is a powder palette. They did have ones that were cream after, and you could basically take them out. The ones that are removable, so the ones that you can actually take the pan out, because you can take any pan. If you have like a needle or like a razor blade or something, you can take out the pans. And some of them, the old ones, will be glued down. So in all the eyeshadow palettes that we used to get when we were kids, they had a little bit of glue under each of them. But sometimes if you check the manufacturer, sometimes they'll actually use magnets. Some companies, some brands will do that. And I think this one was, but I'm not sure if this palette itself is magnetic. But I do know that that's what they were advertising at that time. So in this palette, you have some powders. So you've got your pink shade powder, your yellow, and then a darker one for darker skin tones. So then you've got your light contour, your medium contour, and then your darker contour. So the shade names here on the back. So you've got Lucid, Lyric, Levitation, Somber, Shadow Play, and Subconscious. These shades, like when I look at them, and I used to go into this, like obviously I haven't made a dent in this because I've got so many different ones I use. But when I look at this, if you have light skin tones, I'd stick to this one. If you want to warm your face up and have a bronze color, I would use this one. And then if you are like me and you like to have a little bit of a contour, I would go into the dark one. So even if you have light skin, I wouldn't be afraid of the dark one because you can use a little tiny bit and blend it out really well. I do that a lot on my face and it still looks fine. You just have to blend. So anyway, this is all powder, and there was a time in my career where I preferred powder contours, and now it is more cream products. I don't know why. I can't even tell you why. I prefer cream products, and then I just use a ton of setting spray to set it down. I don't even use powder anymore. But that will change because sometimes like fall, winter, I tend to like the heavier makeup, and then summer I tend to go more cream, which is kind of like weird because in summer it sweats off easier if it's cream, and powder tends to stick better. So I don't know, maybe it's a contradiction, but that's what I did. And I know a couple of years ago, I just loved powder products. I would like use full like foundation and then powder it to set it, and then I would use like this palette. I love this palette. Another one that I would have to say out of all of these palettes is probably my number one palette currently. It wasn't when I first bought them, but currently it is the Tartiest Pro Glow palette by Tarte. Okay, let's just open this up first of all. Like, I don't love the packaging. It's okay, like I'm not mad at it. Oh my god. Awesome. Okay, that normally doesn't happen in videos. I will be right back because I have a mess on my shirt. So we are here. That was unfortunate, but it isn't one that I use a lot. So I'm going to be really careful with how I show you now. So this was my favorite palette, still is, out of palette. This is a cream contour. So this is my very first intro into cream contour products. And the reason why I like this palette is because these shades are very shadowy. So they're more of a contour, not a bronzer. But these ones here are definitely more bronzy. So you can add a little bit of glow using those products. This is my cream. That is the powder I use over top to kind of set the cream. And then this is my favorite highlighter, hands down. It is the shade Strobe by Tarte. I love that color. It's so beautiful. I would put it on right now, except I've got gold on right now, so I don't want to ruin the effect. But I love this palette. I'm just going to have to... Oh, the shade that broke on me was called Lit. Anyway, that was a shocker. So now I'm going to have to see if I can fix my shirt. So the next one, when I first bought this one, out of all of the palettes that I do have, this was my all-time favorite. It is by Tarte as well, and it's Park Ave Princess. So I first heard about this on Emily Jean Beauty's channel. So if you guys, she's in Chicago, or at least she was. I don't know if she still is. I've seen that she's been posting again, but it's not the same channel as it used to be. She does a lot more vlogging now. But that's kind of how I first got into makeup, was watching Emily Jean Beauty. And she had this palette and I was obsessed. This is my second one. The first one I had fell and broke, shattered everywhere. And I do have a backup. I've got a third one. So I was using these colors as contour, but technically, when I'm looking at it right now, they look all bronzy. They're not like the other palettes I showed you. This one and this one are definitely more warm. This is probably the one I would go to for contour. This is sparkly, but they're still too bronzy for me. They're not contour shades. These are under eye powders, which are great. And the thing I love about them, even the previous Tarte palette I showed you guys, they smell like chocolate. Okay, so like the smell does kind of wear off after a while, but they still smell good. And I've had mine for at least 5 years. So, but yeah, definitely one of my favorites. And I loved the packaging. This was like a whole kit too. When it first came out, there was like brushes and the palette, and I can't remember what else there was, but it was just the best thing ever. And I don't think Tarte has released anything as good as this since this came out. This is another one of my favorites, but it's highly underrated. According to like what I use. I love this one too. It's a Too Faced Cocoa Contour, and it also smells like chocolate. So first of all, look at the shades. Okay, so you got your powders, really light skin, you've got that pink undertone for under eyes, the yellow undertone, and then an orange undertone for darker skin. And then you've got your shades. I would look at this as really light skin, medium toned skin, but definitely more contour, and darker toned skin, but definitely more bronze. So light skin tones can still wear either or. You just have to be a bit more sparing with the product, and you have to blend really well. So I do love these shades as well, but I find that there's a lot of variation in the tone. Like you can't, what I mean by that is you can't use this one and get a nice contour. You really need to use this one. So if you've got really dark skin, this is not going to give you any color. So in that case, there's not as much variation is what I should say. But I like this. It's still one of my favorites. But Too Faced was always known for not having as good of a range as they should have had. They may have changed now. I haven't actually purchased anything from Too Faced. I live in Canada, so when I tried purchasing from their website, you couldn't actually do that. You have to like purchase from Sephora or Ulta or something like that. So that's it for my palettes. And now I do have a few like palettes that have like blushes and like the odd like bronzer, but those are my Benefit palettes, and I'm not going to bring them out because they're mostly, it might just be one bronzer, but it's not really worth mentioning. It's like they're one color that they have. So now we're going to talk about the ones I have in my kit in this little drawer. So the first one I brought out here is Fenty Beauty. This is called Stalk'r Instant Warmth Bronzer in the shade Caramel Cutie. So I'm not going to talk about the shades as much as I am about the actual product. I bought this as a bronzer. I like it because it's all matte. I never, like at the time when I bought this, I did not have an all matte bronzer. Most of my bronzers had shimmers, and I do like the Fenty Beauty line. I don't have that many products by Fenty Beauty, but this bronzer is really nice if you're looking for a matte bronzer. And it's also got a really good range of colors for all the different types of skin tones. Okay, another one that I really like is the Kosas bronzer. This is the Sun Show bronzer, and the shade is Escape. The thing about this is that it smells funky. You guys have had this for like 2 years, and like powders shouldn't smell weird. Okay, so foundations will smell weird, cream products will smell weird, powders should not. This is a baked bronzer, so it's baked. It shouldn't even be, I don't know, I don't really understand, but it does have a lot of shimmer. So like all of it is shimmer. So if you put this on your face, you look very shiny. And I use it very sparingly in summer. Sometimes I'll use it in fall if I'm looking for like a really nice glow, like kind of lit from within, but it's not the first one that I reach for anymore. Mostly because it smells funny, but also just because it has too much of a glow. Okay, so one that it has been talked about forever because it is a drugstore bronzer. It has a similar finish to the last one that I showed you, but not as much. It's the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So this is Deep Bronzer, Muru Butter Bronzer, and I have used this lots. So I think I had it a long time ago. I got rid of it and I repurchased it. It used to come with like, see, mine's even broken. Like my thing fell right out. It did come with a little brush, but I just used my own brushes. This is a really nice bronzer. It does give you a little bit of sheen, but not as much shimmer as the Kosas one does. And it's just a really nice, like this is the darkest one that they have, and it's still not that dark. So for me, this is a good one to use. When I'm trying to have a natural look, especially in summer, I will put that on all over, especially when I'm already kind of tanned. You know how like your body will tan, but you either don't tan your face or your face fades the first, like the quickest, because you always wash it. So that happens to me, and so I use that to kind of darken my features again in summer. So one of my favorite products right now, I have been using this like nonstop. You guys have seen me in my makeup videos. It is the Nars Laguna 3 Bronzing Cream. So the number 2, Laguna 2, was the main color that they had come out with when they first came out with this. And the Laguna 3 just suits me better. It just, I don't know, like I'm wearing it right now and you can't even tell. Like I use it around the perimeter of my face to contour my cheeks. Today I didn't use it on my nose, but I usually do. And this stuff is amazing. I use it with my sponge. I've been using it like every time I do my makeup. I am in love with this, and I will be repurchasing. I use it as a contour, but technically it's a bronzer, but it does have more of a contour shade. It's kind of like a good medium, right? Like that's why I picked number 3, because it's a good medium. I love this. Like I'm in love with this product. If I recommend one out of every single one I have, it would be this one. Okay, so another one that I have, not too sure about this. I haven't used it that frequently. It's the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. So it's multi-use. You can use this for, and it comes in like a huge shade range. So like I said, like Too Faced has grown with the ages. It's a super coverage, it says, and this shade is it's called Cocoa. So this one is a bit more red toned, and I think that's why it does not smell like chocolate anymore. I think it used to, but maybe this one's time for garbage because I don't use it. I do love this brand. Foundation they had for sure, and the concealer, which is this, I just have it in the darker shade to use as a contour, but they do have it in all the shades, so you can use this as concealer. And so it's a really good shade, like coverage for all the different skin tones, but it's a little bit red tone, so I tend to use it more in summer, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's not one I reach for that often. This is one I picked up, I think it was either in spring, and I meant to have it for the nose, kind of like my Morphe one that I have now, but I didn't realize it was so big. So this is definitely more of a cheek contour, but it's by Merit, and the shade is called the Sepia. It's a good stick, so I like these for on the go. Like I think they're great. They're mess proof, like you don't need a whole bunch, like a whole toolkit to apply this. You put it on and you can either use your sponge or a brush to blend it out, or your fingers if you want. So this is nice, and it's nice and portable too. Okay, another one that I've been using actually quite frequently is my Rare Beauty. This is the liquid contour in the shade Solace. This is a nice medium shade, and it's also more, this smells good. This is more of a medium neutral shade. So it's definitely more of a contour rather than a bronzer. And I really I really like this. Actually, Rare Beauty has a lot of products that I've been enjoying lately, and I have been known. I've actually purchased quite a few Rare Beauty products, but that one is nice. Now Nars, this was a sample, so I can't actually tell you I've purchased this with my own money. The shade is Laguna, so it's the first shade, like number 1, and it's very light, but it is definitely more of a bronze color, not a contour. So I use this also in summer all over. Again, I don't reach for this one as often because it's so small, and I just tend to reach for my other ones more often, I guess, if that makes sense. Okay, so another one, this is Patrick Ta for Face. I love this too. Okay, I have to say this is a tie for my Nars product. You can get a whole bunch of different shades. It's called Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo in the shade She's Sculpted. So this has got both of them. It's got the cream and it's got the bronzer. This is the contour. So you can see the difference, right? Like I'm showing you really close. This is more shadowy. It's more gray. It's got more gray undertones. This is what you use for contour. And then this is your bronzer. So people might be like, well, what's the difference? Contour gives you the shadows to your face. So wherever you want your face to recede, for example, say you have a large forehead, you want to put your contour around the perimeter of your forehead next to your hairline and blend it in. So then it kind of makes your forehead look like it's receding a bit more. On your nose, if you have a really wide nose, you can put contour on the side of your nose, and it helps make your nose appear smaller. Bronzing is to warm up the face. So if you want to look like you were sun-kissed, you want to put some bronzer on your face. Now, people in the makeup community or artistry community will put bronzer in the same areas that contour is applied just to warm up your features. I personally think that bronzer should be applied where the sun hits. So say, for example, you are getting a suntan, you're outside, and you were out gardening too long and you didn't realize it without sunscreen or whatever. Maybe you had sunscreen on, but you just were out there too long. You want to put the bronzer where the sun would hit you first. So I'm thinking the forehead, the nose, the top of the cheekbones. And then it just kind of gives you this natural sun-kissed glow, looking like you were out in the sun, even if you weren't. And it just looks really beautiful and a lot more natural, I think. But if you put this where the contour areas are, in my opinion, I don't think it looks as natural. Okay, you guys, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. I've got 4 products left. One of the ones here, I absolutely love this. I think I purchased mine instead of getting it from Sephora. I think I actually found this at Marshall's, believe it or not. I didn't get it when it first came out because I was like, oh, it's such a waste of money. I'm just going to buy it for the packaging. And I did. I bought it for the packaging. I spent a lot less on it than buying it brand new. But like, look how pretty it is. Okay. Like, don't judge me. So this looks like a highlighter shade or a bronzy shade. This is a sheen. It does have a little bit of sheen to it. You can see it kind of glowing in the lights. I don't use this one often either, but again, I bought it for the packaging. Like, it's beautiful. It's called the Too Faced Natural Lust Bronzer, Satin Dual Tone Bronzer. So it's technically bronze, just 2 different shades. But yeah, just beautiful. The packaging is beautiful. Okay, so now this one's an older one. I have Maybelline, it's drugstore, Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Multi-Use Concealer. So this is similar to the Born This Way. So I'd almost say they're like dupes for each other. This has been talked about so much on the internet, on social media. It's pretty good. Like the concealer use, I used to think it was okay. But people just swear by it for themselves, and I don't quite get it because for me, it didn't really cover up my under eye circles like other concealers work better for me, like my Westman Atelier. Yes, it's expensive as heck, but it works for me, and I love it. The texture of that one is just amazing. This one's okay. It's drugstore. You're spending what, $12 on this? But for the shade on this isn't too bad for a contour, but something like this you would definitely use as a contour because it can't, like, it's harder to use as a bronzer. You probably could. You could put it on the top of your cheekbones, your nose, and your forehead, but you have to blend it out really, really well. And it's also a cheaper option. So drugstore options, obviously cheaper. Physician formula, though, is actually a little pricey. It's like $20, $30 now in the drugstore. So the last 2, I've got a Too Faced stick here. This is also it's actually bronzing and sculpting. So it says melting, bronzing, and sculpting stick. And I got the shade chocolate caramel. So people were saying that this smelled like a Tootsie Roll. It does not. Usually Too Faced and Tarte smell like chocolate. Mine might be a little bit old. I think I didn't purchase it that long ago. Anyway, it's okay. Like, I'm not going to say like this is my like favorite product ever, because it's not. It does not roll back down. Oh no, it did. Nope, it sure didn't. Yeah, it didn't roll back down. So mine might have been broken from the bottom. But I have used quite a bit of it, but it's not the one that I reach for the most. Obviously Nars is. Okay, and then the last product I want to talk about today is this little guy. I think I got the mini because I didn't know, like, at number one, I didn't want to waste tons of money, and I didn't know what the product was like. So this is the Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit. I really like Westman Atelier, so this is a little bit light for me. It still works on my cheeks to contour and warm up my face. It is a contour stick. It doesn't smell like anything. The packaging is just better. Obviously, like, you're spending more money, right? But I got the small one, and I don't know if I would repurchase this. It's not something that I would jump at. It's not like, yes. But Westman Atelier products, generally, they're actually really, really nice. But this one, I don't know. I do like to experience a wide variety of products, so that's why I have quite a few different ones. And like I said, recently I've really been getting into the cream contour products, and I've really been enjoying them. So, but that sums up this video. If you guys have a favorite, let me know. Which one do you use? Do you use drugstore? Do you use like higher end products? And if you have a favorite out of either of those two, let me know what it is. I would like to know. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments about any of the products I have in this video, please let me know, and I will do my best to answer the question or comment. And please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you are new, I would love if you would consider subscribing. Click on the bell button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.